Good morning, everybody. So turnaround day yesterday, and the intro slide was power candlesticks become the weakest part of the technical pattern. So one of the things we always cover multiple concepts pre-market here in an MT Lives and explaining that one concept is not a strategy. So the pattern we had coming into here was the beginnings, and we talked about the potential for it before it occurred, meaning because of this acceleration higher away from the 20 MA, and this part of the move started down here in May. When they begin to accelerate like that, often you begin some type of corrective pattern, but it was within an uptrend. So when we got this big reversal bar, it was like, okay, it needs to confirm what occurred, right? The beginnings of an M top, it's got to break below the swing low. It never did that. Okay. And you can see, right here, my cursor moves back and forth on the intraday chart where it didn't break down. It came down there, pivots there. We look to the left and we expect there are going to be buyers there. So from there, it's like, okay, what do we do now? Well, we wait. And if it goes sideways there and then starts to break, okay, that's a short setup. Still this within the existing uptrend, and then maybe it fills the gap and so on. Well, yesterday, prices opened lower and immediately reversed, and they entered the void. So power bars, by definition, are going to create price voids, and they are the weakest part of the pattern. So when you get this kind of power candlestick, it's like, okay, put in the context of support and resistance. It happened in the area of a prior swing high resistance. It was rejection there. Okay, now that suggests it's going to go lower. Okay, let it trigger to go lower. That never happened. And so when you get those kind of patterns, which are going to bring in, to a certain degree, bearish expectations, right? Big wide candlestick pattern there with a topping tail on it, near a prior pivot high, it's got to break down. Well, it doesn't have to break down, but you get the idea. So then when it begins to reverse, this is the idea of the void. And look at it on the 15-minute chart as we expand the data there. So here's the gap down, the recovery, and we spent quite a bit of time there chopping back and forth, and then it broke out. And that leads to what we call the thought process. So once it clears the resistance, the thought process is there should be buyers on a pullback. And well, then there was, and as it cleared all of that, it entered this void. And we always, again, and I always wonder, what is the mystery about a price void? Because we always, not always, but often get questions after explaining it, and someone comes, back into an MT Live. It's like, could you explain that again? Because I really don't get it. And it's such a simple concept, but one of the most powerful ones is that we trade as technical traders. I don't care if you're a technical trader, however you approach it, everything is about supply and demand, right? Support, resistance, or the lack thereof. So when we see, in this case, a bottoming pattern in this time frame, and prices start to lift up, it's like, where am I going to sell? Well, everybody looks to the left, right? If they don't have an Ichikumi cloud on there and all kinds of other garbage to cloud their judgment, they look to the left to see where is there some resistance to sell into. And when there's nothing there, the potential for a larger move begins. And then, okay, what happens? So as it came up, you see this little congestion there. When it came up there, prices consolidated. The same way as, okay, if they would have consolidated here, right, they couldn't lift up after reaching the support. If they then began to break, it should go lower. Well, there's the opposite of it. As this moves up to this congestion, and if we expanded that to a 5-minute chart or a 2-minute chart, you'd see a base there and a rejection and a pivot and all of that. Not that we need to, just recognize that this condensed data is some resistance, and it went sideways. And notice the little tail there, that little bar there that breaks under those lows in the topping tail bar. And then it continued higher and so on. So now, what do we do from here? Well, top of the range is up in this area with the two pivot highs. Can it get up there today? Pre-market, is any damage being done? Not really. No, it may just consolidate there. It may go sideways up here where there's nothing. Right? It could get up to the top of the range where there's going to be sellers. Or what if it went sideways into 10 o'clock where we have a whole bunch of numbers coming out at 10 o'clock? Relatively important numbers. I'm looking for that. Where is it? It's in the way now. But ISM services, factory orders, ISM services, business inventory, whole bunch of stuff. And there's some crude oil stuff coming out at 10:30. Remember, the market closes at 1 o'clock. But 10 o'clock, maybe this runs up into 10 o'clock or it just waits there. Right? We don't know. We know there's numbers coming out at 10 o'clock. What it's going to do between now and then, just watch the chart, see what it says. But at 10 o'clock, odds are there's going to be some wiggles. So now, right, that momentum move up, this is a power bar, right, wide range bar, created a void below. Oh, if it does get up there and start, if this was gapping up this morning, I think it would be pretty much a no-brainer that there'd be sellers up there since this ran up as it did. And then maybe it would fill the gap and we'd see what it all does. So right now we've got a trading range going on, back and forth, and maybe we're just going to sit in this thing since today's a shortened trading day holiday, and we'll come back after the holiday and we'll see which is really going to unfold, which way it's going to go or the other, new all-time highs. And I wouldn't put that out of the possibilities that it pokes up there to make an intraday new all-time high. After when that news comes out, and we'll see where it goes from there. But at this point, we've got a pretty significant support area aligned with the rising 20 MA, that if it breaks below there, it's going to be clear can be that something bearish happened. Right now, it's just a time correction within that uptrend. All right, let's take a peek at our internals, if they gave us any input here. No, the breadth is still negative, still below zero. Even with this up day, breadth could not get above that zero line. So same story, certain amount of stocks pushing things up. Sentiment is still at the beginnings of a bearish area at the top of these bands. We don't have any alignment. If this can continue to follow through, some positive breath, maybe this will get aligned. We'll see what happens. Right now, no alignment, so no valuable information there. Pavel's saying Friday will probably be a very quiet, low volume day too, probably. And what usually happens on these holidays, say for example, like Thanksgiving, things are bullish. Yesterday, at the beginning of the week, we talked about the bullish seasonality around a holiday in the beginning of the month. And so Thanksgiving often, same kind of thing. We get this holiday and we come back and markets typically go up on Friday in the morning. And then, by 12 o'clock, everybody, leaves to go eat turkey sandwiches or whatever they're going to do. And, that's it. So that's probably what'll happen on Friday. Today's a shortened day. Tomorrow's holiday. Friday, things will be active in the first part of the morning. And then probably, it'll just be another coma trading situation on a Friday, which has been primarily what's been happening. All right. SPX. I said the last few days, one of these days it's going to hit. And, the numbers being close, this hit the top number yesterday. So you always have to be aware of the void, the potential, how close prices are to a strike. And so it's probably best to leave this alone today, I think. The news coming out at 10 o'clock, or maybe after the news, if there's still premium, we'll have a better idea. If we want to do a zero DTE and it's, closing at 1 o'clock. So I think whatever premium is, it's going to evaporate pretty quick. Yeah. Industrials continue to mark time, going in place. Look at that weekly chart. You got to wonder, is this going to turn into a head and shoulders top? Is this consolidation right here just a resting period before it clears these highs? We'll just have to see what today brings. And now that we've got this decisive bar, relatively large green bar, next to these tail bars, suggesting it should go up. We'll see if it does. Transports did nothing yesterday but consolidating the gain. So far, bullish price action in the area of these pivots. We'll see if it was to close below this breakout bar. Well, that would suggest some downside, but at least it's created some support area and those converging moving averages right there. Let's take a look at the Qs. See where they're at here. They're down a little bit, still at the top of the wide range bar. You can see the same void. This has reached its destination up there at those pivots. Of course, could poke up to make a new all-time high. Being down here a little bit, not a big deal. You can see right at the top of the bullish bar from yesterday. Would make sense for this to consolidate the gain on a short-term basis. Where is this in relation to that bar? All right. So from an intraday point of view, we'll see where this opens up. There's another 15 minutes. It's going to open up at the bottom of that 15-minute bar. So within this time frame, we've got a wide range breakout bar, and prices are going to be opening up at the bottom of it. And that's the beginning of some kind of corrective price action. Not a big deal based on the daily chart or the 65-minute chart, but on this time frame, a little bit of bearish price action. Yeah. Okay. IWM. Yesterday morning, we looked at the fact that these were showing relative strength to the other markets, which were opening lower. And eventually they turned around and took the lead. And this eventually did go up, but you can see what it did. It wiggled around a bit, started up and then came in and then recovered again. So it's just a lot of overlapping bars and erratic price action here with the small caps. Mid caps, we don't look at these every day, but wide range bar down. This is just another reflection of what we see when we look at the breadth internal gauge. Just a lack of participation in a broad way. But I'll just point out again, I don't know, this isn't doing much of anything here, but just point out the concept of a power bar. Look at the big wide range bar there on the daily chart. How prices came down and the void here. So while we don't see much happening, I don't know where this is here pre-market, just set an alert above those highs. It's just like yesterday, if it was to hang here, right? Look, here's the same concept. It moved up. It's near this resistance. It's going sideways. So if it was to clear here, it enters into the void where maybe, it's kind of counterintuitive because we see a big nasty bar like that. And it's like, okay, that's bearish. That's a fact. But it created a void. So it should break below these lows. That's what should happen. It should break below those lows. So setting alert there to trigger a move down. Now, in alignment with the lack of broad participation yesterday, look at what the retailing index did. That was that big down bar and just consolidated at this pivot, set an alert. Now you got the same void concept. So there's an alert that was here. I'll just drag that down there and see what it does. Or maybe it'll break down. We'll see. Well, yeah, Robert's saying even though there's a void, you still is looking to the left. Well, once you've been taught a concept and then you've observed it for a period of time and you see the value of it, that just becomes part of your day-to-day routine. So, well, no, not negated. So, Robert, remember, I don't know if Roberta, if you've taken the course, we have many concepts that, again, are thought processes. Is that if prices have traded above and below an area, right, it's been tested, it's been used as a reference point. So when we look to the left here and we see this pivot, this is only being tested for the first time. So you have to respect it as a reference point. Whereas, if prices, I don't see something here traded above and below, but the idea is if something's been used before as a reference point of support or resistance, it's lost some of its potency as a reference point. It doesn't mean prices can't stop, at that point. But you need to be able to objectively look at what's to the left and say, okay, that's never been tested. It's going to be potentially more potent as a reference point than something that has been tested once before. All right, it's getting late. Let me continue. Not much happening here. Bitcoin, whatever's up or down, when you see things moving percentage wise up and down, put in the context of the bigger time frames, nothing is happening there. Interest rates, insane, the move down, the power move back up again. We'll see how this unfolds in the coming days. And I think as we get into after the holiday, we'll really see which way this market's going to go. Of course, SMHs, keep an eye on that. Another turnaround day, but within a trading range. So that's it. All yours, Dan.
Good morning. So thanks, had an amazing week. But Tesla gets the award. Look at this. And we gave it in the green room, this igniting breakout day. We gave a put spread though, but I was saying inverse head and shoulder weekly looked fantastic. And I gave target at 240 to 250. And look, it hit my 240 target pre-market. So nothing to do with it now. I mean,
so Dan, it'd be valuable to those listening to say, why did you pick that? Because I think it's aligned with my prior comments about the void.
Well, absolutely. And here, I'll give you a play-by-play. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. Green bars ignored, breakdowns ignored, gap up. Once we got this 180 reversal, and then even though it, retraced deeper, it still had 1, 2, 3, 4 inside days that held that. And so the day after, we saw it right at the open, and our alarms went off. So it triggered right there. And this is a big monster. Last week we did bottoming patterns on MT This is a big bottom. And so here's my entry. And Greg talked about potency of resistance, so on and so forth. So this one didn't bother me at all because of this multi-month consolidation. So where would my targets be? Well, the 200 was my first target, which aligned with that resistance. But then look at the momentum move from here to here. That is a price void. Fluid move down as opposed to sideways congestion. And that's why I gave second target 250. 240 to 250, but the 200 was the, I would have sold a third had I been in it. And then, you could, obviously the weekly just condenses the data, but pretty much same message. So there you go. But yeah, the Fangs had a great week across the board. Uh, and then today Wedbush comes out and upgrades it. I thought they were better than that. Um, why do you wait for the thing to rally $60 before you give an upgrade? Um, Raul on YouTube, Varuma, over yesterday's high. Sure, it's a buy setup within a big old trading range, but it's above the 2050. So sure, I'll put it. I know, Patrick, don't get me started. Yeah, there's a lot of self-interest in Wall Street. All right, there's only one earnings trade, STZ. We were thinking of doing a 275 condor, $2.50 wide, and then I think it was the 240s. So despite the gap up, we would have had $10 of cushion. So that would have worked, but we didn't do it officially. Let's just go through what I have here. Broker, which shorted yesterday, so we're just in trail mode. Looks good. GoDaddy, we're long. Consolidation pattern. Today's Wednesday, so we bought yesterday over Monday's high. Gapping up a tad here. TMOS was also on my long list, but yesterday's gap down, I wasn't as excited about it. But look, it negated the gap down and closed with a higher high. Just not sure about the reward to risk, but it's bullish. Semis had a great day. Avgo here, buy setup looks higher. DAY, potential bounce in a downtrend. I got an alarm at 51. Dell, big old W bottom with a 1-2-3 reversal. So we entered a put spread in this on Monday, which was going to be nice on this gap up. And I also had posted this as a bull call debit spread, but I think the gap up's going to mess it up. Para finally has a deal to be bought or taken over, whatever. Alaska Airlines gave their flight attendants a big old raise. Now it's a big descending triangle, which in our objective terms is horizontal support, but lower pivot highs, which means selling is coming in, earlier than the prior pivot high. Not a great pattern. If it had a bigger void, I would say it would be a short watch if we had a continuation pattern, but there's nothing of interest. I know there was some talk of LUV, activist Elliott trying to come after them. This actually, you know what? Let's set an alert. If it gets over Monday's high, it has a void. Let's set an alarm at 2865. Viper, I just saw Captain up. I don't know what it does or anything, but it's sloppy. The low bottoming pattern over these highs is worth a bounce. Alta, we're trying to sell a put spread as a bottoming pattern. We did not get filled yesterday, but it's still posted and valid. But I'm also going to keep my eye on this as a directional. Look, I mean, it's still in a downtrend, but look at the lows are now horizontal at major support here from November. And now I have this is the biggest green bar since, just eyeballing it, since here. Okay, so that you got my attention. You got my attention. So now, another bar or two, I'll have more confidence. Sierra Golf, Sam has as a day trade short idea. That's CVAC. Why am I looking at you? I don't know, but you're gapping up from a double bottom. So that's interesting. CVAC, I'll put in the bottom right there. Tesla, we talked about. When things get crazy like this, and look at the pickup in volume on the biggest green bar here. Ideally, this would have gapped up, $15. And then I would be all over this 30-minute low for a call spread, but that's still my bias. Today's Wednesday, tomorrow's close. So if we do a call spread, we only have a day and a half of risk of trading days. So that's a call spread watch. Amazon, bullish 180 continuation breakout, all-time highs, TKO, breakout, inverse head and shoulders. AER, buy setup, potent 180 reversal. All three of those courtesy of Sam IM. Google, just slow and steady, all-time highs. Texan I like. Closing breakout, both for put spread and directional. Black. A little sloppier, but looks higher. BRSK. This was on Sam's list. It's in an uptrend. I'd say you're, kind of late to the party here, but if the markets are going to keep drifting higher, that looks higher. CDNS gapping down. This would have been a great put spread with Monday's reversal bar, bottoming tail, but I forget, it was either too spready or no juice or whatever. AppGo, another one, looks great. I did check for a put spread on this one. It's too spready. There's our STZ, the earnings trade. XLY, we bought yesterday, daily, weekly, monthly. My up alarm went off. Day we talked about. MU. MU is making the turn here, weaker than the other semis by taking out the prior pivot low, deeper retracement. I don't know, it's not a great swing to me unless the whole sector is going to drag it up. All right, TKO alarm. So that's good to go. It's not an excessive gap, so that's good to go. PSX low alarm. And I'm on my backup computer here, and it is so friggin' sluggish. All right, see, remember, this was a quality bottoming pattern, but it was immediately showing signs that it's having a hard time moving. Similar to Disney, where I got us out break even, and then the thing friggin' tanked. All right, PSX one. It was an early alarm on PSX, but bar by bar, not looking good. real stuff in now. Broker, up alarm went off, but now it's fallen again. I'll just reset it. All right, PISX stopped out. And we actually had an open profit on that top the other day. But oil was bullish, so I kept it. AER. Dell up alarm. Alta moving. Wow, I had a lot of alarms. So AER triggering here. Dell, let me check. Uh, that is a beautiful big old, that is a big W pattern. Uh, let's move stuff here. Pre-market low, 144.58. Let me check the juice bar. 135, 130 for next week. All right, 20. So we're so we go. Dale looks great. I wish it didn't gap up for our directional. But yeah, let me look. Alex says he's buying the high. Let me look if the gap is excessive or not. No, I wouldn't buy the high myself. I would wait for a pullback. Look at this Alta moving. Greg, I know you love bottoming patterns, but any interest in long stock on this? Could be a home run entry. In here. We did not get fill on our put spread yesterday, unfortunately. Yeah, Avgo, yeah, I know you bought that. So nice trail mode. All right, let's see that. Another, smaller W bottom. And we're getting a buy set up here with a pre-market data. This might work. Ah, you're saying stop to low of the day. My bad. My bad. I thought you were buying it. XLY alarm. There's AER. increment. Mm, I, I don't know. Sylvie M, low alarm. I think that's you, Sam. I am. They oh, shit. This thing is now my daily chart's flipping out like my other computer did. Look, it got rid of all my friggin' data. Ah, Alex, same problem as the other computer. Remember when you type in DAY? That is the strangest error I have ever seen. You just wigged out my daily chart here by typing day. Shoot. Uh, let me just X out of this. It'll be easier than me trying to recreate this daily real quick. All right, 1 sec. I'll look at all this stupid computer. No, stupid software. That wasn't the computer's fault this time. RMD? Yeah, no, that's not my type of setup. What preferred? There's no void, Sam. I don't like that. TKO. Yeah, I triggered TKO at the open. So yeah, we're in TKO and we're in AER. Both of those, Sam, I am. 10. Yeah, I'm posting them right now. Sam, were you shocked how many of your trades I took? I was. Alex was. Kidding. Dell, low alarm. That's okay. We're stopping out. So the back half. Wow, it's 50 cents already. And we man, you know what? Tempted. I was tempted to um close the whole position. And I said, you know what, let's try to squeeze another dime out. So in retrospect, bad decision. But it was half. The stock looked great, and it faltered. I don't know what symbol that is, and but Alex, maybe you can help me. What symbol is that? Um, oh, it's great, Sam. I am. Dude, why am I looking at right in here? Oh no, it's because I shut the computer down as well. All right, TKO. Sam, you know what? Do you know what the initials of TKO mean? TKO. Sammy boy has a TKO for us. You know what, Sam? I love moving stocks break even in 10 minutes after entry. Isn't that a great feeling? Now, it could be a tad tight, but look at that 15-minute bar. I sure as heck don't want this coming back to the open. I don't like the entry here on cyber. Yeah, no. Yeah, good job. No, yeah, I remember you were talking about summer melt. And I had an alarm on Sylvan go off. This was yours, Sam, but I'm gonna delete it now. Snap, it's not doing anything. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, no great pattern though. Wow, that thing's gotten devastated since this failed WRB. I wouldn't touch this thing. That's ugly. All right, Texan has a deep retracement. So I'll leave the put spread, but I'm gonna well, I'll leave them both. DLO over the highs is still fine, and Mitter over the highs is fine. The LBT, let's go over opens now. All right, where's our new stuff? How about this? Like 4902. Failure. Hey, who in this room thinks that they are traveling the farthest for July 4th holiday? What do y'all think? Sam's like, not me. Rick's bars, 7.2 miles. So it's not me. Roberto, don't you love how I make have fun with him? He actually asked me to do it, Roberto, just so you know. He says, you know what, Dan? It would really help my trading progress if you like paid attention to me and made fun of me more. Keeps me sharp. Well, good. Flex is going nowhere. We have July 30 puts. We might have to kill this thing scratch. Well, dollar right now. And not liking it. All right, our Morgan is slow and steady. 98.61. All right, I already have it. I have it at break even. Starbucks, we're in trail mode. With 77.22. That's where it is now. SRE is just dead money. T2, we have calls that expire Friday, so this is going nowhere. Wheat going nowhere. Go Daddy doing good. Go Daddy, go. No stop break even. I'm putting the wrong date. July 3rd. Tomorrow, dead money. Broker, we're in it. Shorted yesterday. It's going nowhere. Riven. We're in at 14.99 yesterday. And then AER and TKO today. All right, so that's everything. Everything is up to date.